Melbourne Victory, Australia's most successful A-League club, arguably the biggest. But never has there been a night quite like this. It's mammoth on two fronts. Firstly, the farewell of a legend. Archie helped set up this extended farewell.
Thompson! Archie Thompson, what a moment!
The first time Victory are at this stage, the knockout stage of the Champions League. Tonight, the first leg at home, Korean champions Jeonbuk cast as villains in this piece. It's business time in Asia's biggest club competition, live on Fox Sports.
Yeah, great to have your company live on Fox Sports for a huge night for Melbourne Victory Football Club in more ways than one. And alongside me, Adam Peacock for this evening's pre-game, half-time and post-game analysis. It's a man who would be nowhere else. And also, I think after the Premier League, he's done the George Costanza. He's basically just slept under the desk. He's that excited about this evening. Mark Bosnich.
I am. Good evening, Adam. Wilco.
Alex
Evening,
Wilkinson's
boys.
here as well.
I have to say, he's my skipper. I'm a little bit, you know.
Evening, boys.
Evening, Wilco. So we've got Alex Wilkinson in. Congratulations, by the way, on another Socceroos call-up. You're off to England shortly to take on the Three Lions.
Fully deserved.
And then after that, you're with Sydney FC, so congratulations on that. And congratulations on winning the titles you did with Jeonbuk Motors, who are playing Melbourne Victory tonight. So, we're happy to have you here.
Thanks, boys.
Yeah,
happy to
very
be
much
here.
so.
Yeah, looking forward to the game. It's going to be a big one.
How was Korean football? We're going to focus on that with you this evening. We won't talk so much about Sydney FC and Melbourne City, where you were at the end of the A-League equation. But Jeonbuk Motors, you spent a couple of years there with good success. Good times, huh?
Great times. Yeah, they're for those that don't know, they're a big club. The biggest club in Korea at the moment by some margin, I'd say, and we enjoyed a lot of success. We won 2 league titles there, and the other 2 years were, I think, a second and a third finish. So pretty successful times, but that's expected of that club. As I was saying to you off air, they're sort of, if you don't win the league, it's sort of a failure. That's a failure of a season. So they also place a lot of emphasis on the Champions League. So it'll be interesting to see how they turn up tonight.
I was going to ask you about that, Wilco. I haven't won it since 2006, so it's a long time between drinks to them. The coach you were talking about before, he'll be really wanting to give it a shake tonight.
Yeah, well, he actually won it with them in 2006, so he's still around. He's been there now for 10 years, and they lost the, I think, 2011 final on penalties as well. So they every year they place a big emphasis on the Champions League, and we've seen tonight, we'll see the team soon, that they brought a full-strength team out and they take it very, very seriously.
And Boz, as we have a look at the reminder of what is coming up from Amy Park, Melbourne Rectangular Stadium, for the purposes of the AFC, we talk of Jeonbuk being a huge club. Well, it's a clash of the Titans because Melbourne Victory, arguably, well, they're certainly the most successful, arguably the biggest club in Australia.
Yes, and look, disappointing season for Melbourne Victory, and the other team that's made the last 16 in Sydney FC. But this is basically a massive thing for them, and it could turn this season, if you want, all around. I know we go on for the Asian Champions League from the end of this season to the start of next season, but I know from the start of the season this was a major priority. They've never ever made the knockout stages. Their first time ever that they've made the knockout stages. And speaking to Anthony Creer, who's a very good friend of mine, obviously, who has to plan out the whole fitness for the end of the season and so forth, they were really focused on Kevin Muscat and wanted them really to be at it at this time of the season. Then hopefully they get through to the last date at the beginning of August as well. I think that's when the last date will be, end of August rather. So I'm really looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, these are the East Asian portion of the draw. We've got Sydney FC in China. They play tomorrow night, of course, and 2 countries from the 4 powerhouses of East Asian football in China, Korea, Japan and Australia, for the first time having 2 teams in the knockout stages. Let's find out who is playing for Melbourne Victory and indeed the visitors, Jeonbuk. It's a very good evening at Amy Park to Michael Zappone.
Thanks, Adam. It's been a big build-up to this one. Archie Thompson featuring on the back page of the Herald Sun right in the middle of the AFL season. That just goes to show you how big it is. Melbourne Victory expecting a crowd of around 15,000, which will be one of the biggest crowds we've seen here in the ACL in Melbourne. And good news for the North Terrace boys. They're back tonight. Their first time back since Western Sydney, so expect the decibel levels to be even higher tonight. Here's Melbourne Victory starting 11 for this one. No changes from the side that took to the park against Gamba Osaka 2 weeks ago. A big one for Mathieu Delpierre, who will lead Melbourne Victory from the back. He won the victory medal on Saturday night. Costa Barbarouses will want to go out on a high as well. And Archie Thompson, a big night for him, as we've spoken about. Jeonbuk were given the weekend off. They arrived here on Sunday, trained at Gosh's paddock on Sunday, trained here at Amy Park on Monday. They're expected to attack. One change from the side that did win 3-2 against Suwon 10 days ago. Leonardo, the Brazilian, comes into the midfield. Look out for Lee Dong-guk, the 37-year-old striker who's got more than 100 caps for the national team to his name. And the midfield young gun, Lee Jeonbuk. He's a good one as well for them. It's going to be a fantastic night tonight here, Adam. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you, Zappers. We'll get Wilco's take on some of those players you mentioned there for Jeonbuk. But Bozza, Archie Thompson came up with something special to get them to this stage against Gamba Osaka.
Yep.
That very important goal it turned out to be in the last group stage match. Can he do it again tonight?
I think he can. They had their medal night on Saturday night. He gave a very emotional speech. Look, for me, he's been the greatest Melbourne Victory player over the whole time that the A-League has been in existence. He's still got a hell of a lot to offer. Obviously, he won't be at Melbourne Victory next season, but I'm sure there's some other teams, not only in Asia, but especially in the A-League, who would pick him up. And he won't want this to end. You should play, everyone tells you should play as long as you possibly can, because when it finishes, the tap doesn't just drip off, it just cuts off completely. So he'll be really looking forward to tonight. And he's done well in this Asian Champions League so far.
What about victory as a whole, Wilco, in getting out of the group, which contained, well, the teams that they've left behind in the group stage? Suwon, huge club in career, as you'd know, and also Gamba Osaka.
Exactly. When I was at Jeonbuk last year, we played Gamba Osaka in the last 4 of the East side, and they beat us, and then obviously lost to Guangzhou, our Evergrande. But they're a huge club, and as you said, Suwon, another big club in Korea as well. They finished second last year to Jeonbuk, and have some very, very good players as well. So to get through the group's a fantastic result for them, and it'd be a great send off for Archie if they could get through these 2 games as well.
Now, the other round of 16 match in the East portion of the Champions League taking place tonight, it's FC Tokyo, Nathan Burns' team, taking on Shanghai SIPG, who have, of course, finished top of Melbourne Victory's group. We're off to a break. We're going to analyse both teams in greater detail after this. Hear from Kevin Muscat and also Carl Valeri. Back in a moment. Countdown to kick-off is well and truly on for the round of 16 clash at Amy Park of the Champions League.
Back post delivery, wonderful delivery, superb, and Nick Ansell gives the Victory the lead. A long range effort, and Lawrence Thomas, well, he did well initially, but in the end the rebound fell perfectly for Lee Dong-guk. Here comes the shot from Dong-guk, and Lee Dong-guk, sensational! Onside this time. Barbarouses. Can he redeem himself? Yes, he can!
Welcome back. These two sides have met before, not that long ago, in fact. And Alex Wilkinson was out there that night at Etihad Stadium. Fond memories at all, playing back in Australia for a non-Australian side?
I was loving it. I was over in Korea and we drew Melbourne Victory. It was great. Get a trip back to Oz. It doesn't get to happen too often, so I was buzzing. But a good game, entertaining game, 2-2, and a player who we'll see tonight, Lee Dong-guk, scored a double that night. So hopefully he doesn't score too many tonight.
Now, to get to this stage, Melbourne Victory certainly were entertaining. Here's what you missed about their group campaign.
Victory's return to the Champions League got off to a dynamic start against Shanghai SIPG in one of the best games we've seen in the competition.
And he's in, great release, Ingham in behind. Jai! What a story!
Quite the story for Jai Ingham, playing in the Victorian Premier League just months before. But that goal was cancelled out by the Chinese visitors early in the second half, before Victory got a bit of luck.
Breaks for Berisha. Oh, what's the decision? Penalty! A spot kick for the Victory. Berisha buries it.
Despite Dario Conca's best brilliant efforts, the home side held on, off to the perfect start. A difficult trip to Japan followed, and Gamba Osaka had a bit to do with their own early demise.
What a start for Melbourne Victory.
A comfortable turn in the second, and eventually the home side found an equaliser.
Usami hangs it up. Oh no, Yasuhito Endo! And the veteran, the legend, has squared it up for Gamba Osaka.
But they would find no more, and Victory's unbeaten start continued with draws home and away with Suwon Blue Wings of Korea. first, scoreless at home, then 1-1 away. But that away goal would prove to be invaluable.
An immediate reply from Melbourne Victory.
Champions League tiebreakers aren't for and against, it's head-to-head, so that goal gave Victory the advantage should they and Suwon need to be split. And so it proved they would need it. After a matchday 5 beating in Shanghai, SIPG locking in top spot with an easy 3-1 success, it came down to the final match. Victory at home to an already eliminated Canberra Osaka just needed to match whatever Suwon did against Shanghai. It started well.
Nice call, Barisha. Barbarouses seizes upon the moment. Thompson! Archie Thompson, what a moment!
But of course, it wouldn't be easy. As Suwon were winning 3-0, Victory got the wobbles. But hang on, they did. Archie's farewell extended. Victory out of the group for the first time in their history.
So there it is, Boz.
Yep.
Second position thanks to that crucial away goal in that match against Suwon for Costa Barbarouses. But did it surprise you? Also, we've seen Australian teams get punished when they've gone a little off the boil in stages of matches and they've got punished hard.
Yeah.
Melbourne Victory seemed to be able to withstand those periods. Did that surprise you given their league campaign?
No, it didn't, and I'll tell you why, because there was a great emphasis placed, like I said, on the Champions League from Melbourne Victory, and especially on scoring goals away from home, and that's so important. Regardless if it's a knockout stage or the group stage, you've got to be able to score away from home as well. If you wait against teams of this type of quality, eventually they're going to create enough chances and push under enough pressure that they're probably going to score. So I think it was their away form, along with that opening game. I think it was so important for them to start well against Shanghai SIPG, which they did do. That gave them the confidence to go on, a little bit similar to Sydney FC when they beat the reigning champions in Guangzhou.
Let's get the thoughts of Melbourne Victory coach now, Kevin Muscat. Here he is with Zappers.
Well, Kevin, no game in 2 weeks. How have you tweaked your preparation in the lead up to this one?
Oh, naturally, I'm not going to shy away from the fact there's no, I suppose, replica for games, but training has been altered, obviously, in the belly of the 2 weeks that we've worked pretty hard. And look, I'm not really concerned about that tonight. It's a massive occasion, and our legs will be fine. We've had enough games over the season.
You travelled to Korea the weekend before last. What did you learn from that trip?
If anything, the learnings were great in terms of reinforcing, what we already analysed and what we already knew. Naturally, they're a good team. They've won the K-League in the last 2 years. They've won this competition previously. The structure and methodology of the coach has remained for quite a few years. And look, they're going to be a difficult team to break down. And at the same time, they pose some strengths in transition when they drop off and they pinch the ball. So look, it'll be an entertaining game, and we're at home, so we want to put them on the back foot.
You say you want to put them on the back foot. Choi Kang-lee, their coach, said that he wants to come out and attack. His team doesn't play well when they sit back. Are you expecting them to come out hard as well?
Look, I suppose in hindsight we'll be able to tell, but one thing's for sure: the Koreans in general, and especially Jeonbuk, are very, very disciplined in their structure, and they get a lot of bodies behind the ball very, very quickly. So, from our perspective in transition, we've got to be neat and tidy and retain possession of the ball, not be in a hurry, but move the thing very, very quickly to get forward.
And one on Archie, a big night for him tonight. It's been a long farewell. Is the key for you not to make sure the players aren't distracted by that?
Look, it's a big night for everyone. July 6th we came in and started training, so it's been a long journey, and it's a special night for Archie, but it's a massive night for all of us where emotion will be removed, and hopefully we enjoy ourselves after the game.
Good luck.
Cheers, Zappa. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see if they will be in about 2 hours' time. Wilco, just to question you about the coach of Jeonbuk, Choi Kang-hee, who said a few things through the week about Eric Partler, and we're not going to talk about Eric Partler, who's not in the squad tonight. He's back in Korea, the former Melbourne City man. But he said the reason Eric's not featuring at the moment is because the K-League is a different pace to the A-League. So that makes me think that he's going to expect something from Melbourne Victory, which might not be all that true. I don't know what you think about K-League to A-League as in pace. Has he got it right, or is he opening himself up here?
Yeah, I think pace-wise, I don't know about being much quicker, but I think it's probably a bit more direct. I find that the Korean teams, the Korean League is probably a bit more direct. I find in the A-League, coaches are probably a bit more across the tactical side of the game, and if it's not on, you turn out, go back, go out the other side and whatnot. Whereas in Korea, I used to find that the coach was really encouraging to get the ball forward as quick as possible, win the second ball, get the ball down in the opponent's half and play from there. And I don't know, but pace-wise, I guess both leagues would be quite similar.
So, I mean, the reason I ask that is because you come in with false pretense about what you're going to get from your opponent. Now, obviously, he's been the coach against Kevin Muscat, Melbourne Victory last time, but I don't know how much they've changed since you guys played them.
Well,
is it a factor?
Well, I think it is a factor. I mean, if you look throughout Asia, and we've had the opportunity to do that now with the top teams throughout Asia during this competition. Now, one thing you have to take into consideration, obviously, the Korean, Japanese, and the Chinese sides are just starting their season. So as we're pretty much at our peak, they're starting their season. But you'd have to have a look at Melbourne Victory and say amongst all the Asian teams, especially on transition, they would be one of the quickest teams, I would say, throughout this competition. And he'll be very, very wary of that. And the position that Partaloo plays is so important. And the two that he's got playing there tonight, Han Gu-won and Kim Bo-kyung, they'll have a massive job, like I said, because they've got to protect that back four, because they'll know on transition, you heard Kevin Muscat just mention it as well, how dangerous Melbourne Victory will be.
Let's have a look at Melbourne Victory's last performance in any competition. It was 2 weeks ago, hence the break that they've had. The Gamba-Osaka match, where it got a little nervy in the second half for them, Wilco. What about how they approach this match as opposed to something like that where they had to protect something as opposed to playing a first leg of a two-legged tie? Different mentality?
Yeah, well, I think we've sort of seen throughout the group stages how important home games are. Obviously Victory haven't won an away game in the Champions League yet, and they're undefeated at home. So tonight is massively important for them to get a result. So, I'd be surprised if they didn't come out and press from the first whistle. I think they'll really try to force the issue and press Jeonbuk high up the park. In saying that, I guess with the fitness, with them not being in season, it's a matter of how long they can do that for. But I think they've got to start, from the first whistle, really pressing them high in the park and trying to get the ball back and control the game early.
Boz, in your experience of playing two-legged huge matches, is the mentality in the first leg different to just, say, a normal 90-minute game that you were playing the
Yes,
league?
it is. Depending where you're playing, whether you're playing home or away, it definitely is. Now, if you're playing home in the first leg, which I never used to mind, I didn't mind playing home in the first leg, but one of the most imperative things is not to concede a goal, funny enough. And Wilco is exactly right what he's saying about Melbourne Victory with their record away from home. Yes, they'll be looking to press the game, and ideally you want to win 2 or 3-0. But there's not been one manager that I've had during European games who have said, look, listen, if it comes to the fact that we have to get a 0-0 at home, okay, we'll take that. And that's not sounding defensive. That's just basically saying we'll be careful, because we know going away from home, any team that I've played, we've always been confident of scoring a goal, which makes it even more difficult for the opposition. The more you concede at home, the more it makes it difficult for you when you go away from home. So there's a game within a game there. And you've got to be very, very smart with these games, because you could be on top, cruising 2-0, all of a sudden they score 1 goal. It puts a completely different complexion on it. Now they only have to win 1-0 at home, whereas it stays 2-0, they have to score 3 goals, and you fancy yourself in that type of situation.
Yeah, you saw, remember Western Sydney Wanderers, they went away and didn't get smacked, but they got beaten convincingly 3-1 by Sanfrecce of Japan. They came back 2-0. They went through on away goals and ended up winning the competition.
Funny enough, that season that Western Sydney Wanderers won it. Melbourne Victory were actually in the group with Guangzhou Evergrande, who Western Sydney Wanderers played in the quarter-final. Now, the 2 games in the group, Guangzhou Evergrande gave Melbourne Victory a real chasing, if you remember, 4-2. But Melbourne Victory beat them 2-0 at home. Now, that was a 2-legged game. Obviously, Melbourne Victory would go through. So, you just, like I said, at home, the most important thing for me is not to concede a goal.
Let's hear from Carl Valeri now, so important to Melbourne Victory's chances tonight.
Here he is again, though, in behind. Squares it up, Valeri! Carl Valeri with his first international goal.
Valeri, he shoots. What a strike, Carl Valeri!
Time for a news update brought to you by Bob Jane Team Arts. Carl Valeri's career is on hold. He's been diagnosed with a brain condition.
Inflammation in my brain, which affected my nerves. Let's say the nerves are wires that attack the coating of the wires, which affected the nerve underneath and caused me to short circuit in a way. There was a time there where things were a bit rough. Even the neurologists here in Melbourne, who have been fantastic, and the medical staff don't know too much about it. I mean, they know what it is and they know how to treat it, but they can't name the actual condition.
Melbourne Victory coach Kevin Muscat says there's no timeline for Calvaleri's return.
There's no point trying to even assume how long that'll be. At this point in time, our concern is with his well-being, and when he's able to train and get back out, time will tell.
Valeri! Incredible! Valeri, what a strike! Simply sensational.
My left side kept switching off. I couldn't see it, and when something happens to your vision, you really notice it. And that was the first trigger for me. And then, when I couldn't finish training, I mean, very rarely do I not finish training, and for me even to stop and, feel like, I couldn't, that was a big warning sign for me. I was just thinking about how do I get better, and, how can we fix this, and how to deal with it. And, the way my family, especially my wife, supported me, the club, all the players here, Kevin Muscat, all his coaching staff, and all the players, all the office staff, I mean, we're fantastic, and that helped me through. That really did. It was always like, what can we do to help you? I'm so thankful for that, and that was a big part of my recovery. That support really helped me get through that and not think about how scary it actually was. Fell straight back into routine, as if I was never away, and that's what I love about football. Whenever I'm playing football, it feels so natural, and I don't think about anything else. And I really did miss it, and I'm very grateful to be back, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be a part of the team going into the Asian Champions League.
Yeah, another special from the producers here at Fox Sports. Dan Hemingway at his very best, one of the guys who put that together and shot that and did that interview with Carl Valeri. Very open and honest. And you look at something like that and you think, yeah, Melbourne Victory fans are over the moon that he's back. And Kevin Muscat's over the moon that he's back. And his family's the same. But I don't think anyone's happier on the planet than Carl Valeri that Carl Valeri's back.
No, until you hear him say some of those things, obviously sat back here and we heard it was quite serious, but you didn't quite realise how serious until you heard him say it was very, very scary. It goes to show, number one, tremendous fighting spirit that he has. I'm a great believer that when things do go wrong in life, whether they be from a medical perspective or from another perspective, that your state of mind is very, very important. He mentioned the support he had around him as well, which is very, very important for him too. But really, really scary. And it was great to see him back. It's a wonderful achievement to have him back. I do think they're a different side when he's playing.
Why are they a different side when he's in the equation?
Well, the famous Makalele, if you like, who made it famous, the role just in front of the back four, the destroyer, somebody who can protect the back four and also distribute the ball, is so important in modern football. And he covers that and has the great experience, obviously, of playing in probably from a tactical defensive perspective, playing the Italian league, which is probably the best tactically defensive league in the world. And he's very, very smart with his movements. He also can make sure he gets the rest of the players in the right position, which is so important. We don't see that as fans and just watching and all that, and we don't hear a lot of the things that go on the pitch. But you've got somebody through the centre of your spine, whether it be at centre back, but especially in that position as well, right in front of them, who are directing people and telling them man on. That is so important for you. You don't realise until you're out there, just a little shout of time can mean the difference between you looking silly or looking actually good, or man on, vice versa, especially in that part of the pitch. And that's what he does for me as good as anyone.
Wilco, your player to watch is Jason Gerry, who was today selected for the 2 games against Greece. You're playing the England match, so you won't cross paths there, but you did for the last camp for the World Cup qualifiers with the Socceroos. What did you take away from what you saw of this guy at close quarters?
Yeah, look, I was lucky enough to see him in camp, and obviously I've seen him in the A-League, and he's just grown and grown as a player. And tonight he's going to have his hands full. We'll talk about Jeonbuk a bit later, but he's going to be up against a foreigner who is very, very fast, very direct, and it's going to test him. So if he can nullify his direct opponent, it's going to go a long way to Jeonbuk creating a lot less opportunities and hopefully giving Melbourne a better chance to win the game.
And one man who's going to have his work cut out in life in the next 6 months or so, it's a special shout out to Lee Broxham, who had triplets on Saturday.
Wow.
His wife gave birth to triplets. Man, is he going to be a busy hombre.
A very busy operator. As I've told you, you know yourself, Adam, you've got 4 now, haven't you? Yeah, so I've got 1, which is like 4. So any time that I have any trouble now, it's going to think of Lee Broxham and think it could be worse, buddy.
Do you sit back there and think that, did I really put my parents through what I'm now going through?
Yeah, well, my dad used to, when my little daughter was born, Allegra, and he used to hold her and all that, and he used to look at me smiling. And I said, what are you smiling for? He goes, now you're going to see. I said, now you're going to see. And I used to go, yeah, all right. Yeah. And now, yes. But I don't like, hopefully he's not watching this. You go, yeah, I told you.
And Will Go's got 2 as well. Keeping you busy.
Busy times.
Busy times indeed. Let's go to Jeonbuk Motors now, our visitors this evening for this Champions League round of 16 clash, and learn a bit more about the Korean powerhouse.
Jeonbuk Motors is a powerhouse of Korean football. Founded in the mid-90s, for their first decade they bumbled along in the league, mid-table the norm, but won 3 FA Cups, the last of which qualified them for the 2006 Champions League. And that ended well. They won the title, beating Syria's Al Qatamar in a dramatic second leg in Homs. That success changed the club for the better. Since 2007, they've never been out of the top 4 of the K-League. More impressively, since 2009, they've won 4 of 7 league titles. Striker Lee Dong-guk propelled them to the first of those in 2009 with 21 goals, and they backed it up in 2011 with another success. After that, manager Choi Kang-hee took over as Korean national team boss, but only to qualify their team for the World Cup. After that qualification, he returned to Jeonbuk, and so did the good times. Back-to-back league titles in 2014 and 15, those squads utilising both local talent, Brazilian flair, and the defensive smarts of an Aussie, Alex Wilkinson.
Right in the middle there, Alexander.
Easy to spot there, wasn't it? Very easy to spot.
Right in the middle. How was that experience over there? Are they a club where every single game, and Boz has played in a few of these, that there's heat on? If you stuff up in, doesn't matter what game you're playing, if it's a Mickey Mouse game pre-season, you got to get it right.
Yeah, and as a foreigner, I suppose as well, there's only 4 spots available. So if you're coming in as a foreigner, there's that bit of added pressure as well. But definitely, they're a huge club, and as I said before, if you don't win the league, it's deemed as probably an unsuccessful season. So in that regard, a massive club and one that demands success.
Have they got a playing style that's part of the fabric of the club, or is it interchangeable from your experience?
Not so much. I think it is quite changeable, but I think we'll see tonight that they'll be rather direct. The coaches, a fan of getting the ball forward as quickly as possible and then playing the game in the opponent's half. And they've got some very good players going forward. But I think tonight Victory can really exploit their back 4. But if Victory can hold out their good players going forward, I think they're a big chance of getting a good result.
And Wilco, we've heard a lot of stories about the famous fitness regimes. Is it no different here?
Look, it is very different to here, but I think in Australia we're blessed that the sports science, physio / side of the game that we have here, we're very lucky. I think we're probably the world leaders in that field, and over there they probably don't invest as much money and time in that field, and therefore things are a bit different, and the training styles and the fitness styles are a bit different to what I'm used to here, but you get used to it and you adapt.
Because Sash Ognovsky came in and he told us stories, feeding him, it sounded like the SAS they were preparing for, not a game of football.
The Navy SEALs.
Navy SEALs was ridiculous. So you went through that a bit?
The old school military regimes. Yeah, I mean, it's different. And especially with Jeonbuk, we had an older coach, so a bit old school, you could say, and they're quite set in their ways. So, being at a successful club like he is, he probably thinks, well, why do I need to change? We win the league every second year, or why do I need to change things? So for him, he's quite set in his way.
Now, their last match day, there was a heap of pressure in this one, Bozza, but they handled it just against Jiangsu Sandy, who, of course, Trent Sainsbury plays there now. They're the club that was splashing the cash. They missed out on the knockout stages. Jeonbuk got through, but, 2-2 at home in the last game. You wouldn't expect that nerves are going to be a part of the equation the first leg away from home?
Well, there's always nerves. Actually, you know what? I don't know about Alex what he, but it's, a lot of times when I didn't play as good as I thought I should have done was when I wasn't nervous. Actually, that's part of the process. You get used to that. At the beginning, when you first start your career, they can overcome you if you're not obviously careful. But as you go along, you rely on them as a friend to keep you sharp. But they've done very well. This is a very tough group, like you just said. They actually were on the same points as FC Tokyo, I think it was. But they went through obviously because they come first because they over the 2 legs on the countback, as he told us last time, Adam. That they obviously overcome FC Tokyo. But this is a team with great experience. You've heard what Alex has just said about the expectation at the club, and they've had a wonderful record in the Asian Champions League, and they will not want to go out, especially to an Australian team. Look, they're going to be a very difficult opponent tonight for Melbourne Victory.
Up front is your player to watch, Wilco, Lee Jeonbuk. You would have played against him a fair few times at training. What are his qualities? Because we've known him for a while in both playing for Korea and also at this level. He can score from anywhere.
Can score a lot. It scores a lot as well. And obviously he's getting on now. He's, I think, 37 or 38. And
it's not that old.
He's just not slowing down. He's not slowing down at all. Everyone's waiting for him to sort of slow down, but he just keeps banging them in. And obviously experience-wise, he's been there. He's got 100 caps for Korea and played in so many Champions League games. So he's pivotal for them. He probably won't do too much defensively because he'll want to be saving his legs for when they do have the ball. But in build-up, he might drop off and try to pick the ball up and run at defenders, or if not, he'll be looking to sort of get on the end of crosses or get in behind. But around the box, he's deadly.
Because he's a club legend, has he got a bit of a club legend's ego?
Oh, he's a pop star in Korea,
But
he can't
is he a
go
good guy to
anywhere.
get on with?
Great guy, really good guy, and actually speaks a bit of English, which helped me a lot when I was settling in, because he played over in England for Middlesbrough for a year or two, I think. So he helped me a lot actually settling in and made me really feel welcome, which was great. So, without him, it would have made my transition quite a bit tougher.
Well, as much as he is a good bloke, hopefully he doesn't score a hat-trick tonight for Melbourne Victory's sake. Bozzy, your player to watch, a very famous name, Leonardo. It's not the Leonardo. No. It's not DiCaprio. It's not Da Vinci, but he's a quality player.
Not a man from Newcastle, no, but he is quality player. Look, he's played in the last 2 championship-winning sides. He scored 10 goals from 36 games last season, and look, he's nominally obviously a number 10, but he can go wide as well, and he's somebody that's going to be very, very dangerous for them tonight. Had great experience at AEK Athens as well, and Wilco, I mean, you'll be able to tell us that. They're just basic facts about him, but tell us more about him in terms of the finer details.
Yeah, most likely he'll probably play out on the left wing. He's very, very fast, got frightening speed. So, as we mentioned before, big job for Jason Guerrier. But he's obviously right-footed, so he likes to cut in a lot, take shots from distance. If he doesn't shoot, he likes the sort of curled ball to the far post for Jeonbuk to sort of get him behind and finish there. So that's something to watch out for. He'll probably take most of the corners and free kicks as well, which is usually pretty good delivery and good finishing. So definitely a big threat for victory.
Yeah, Ricardo Lopez is the other Brazilian that's in the squad tonight. Surprisingly, they've only got 4 outfield players on the bench. Can't fathom that. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I suppose they've probably got one eye on the game in the K-League on the weekend, and then maybe trying to keep against the Dragons, maybe, and to keep
George Illawarra.
Yeah, they've got to back up after playing the Rabbitohs on Friday night.
And maybe to keep a few boys fresh for obviously the return leagues next week as well. So who knows?
Yeah.
Of course, taking on Chunnam Dragons for the weekend of
just
the
a little
K-League.
joke. Yeah.
Just a little joke, buddy.
Yeah.
But we'll see how they go tonight. But they wouldn't want to get injuries in the wrong place with that threadbare bench. We're off to a break. Kickoff is not too far away. We'll get the final thoughts and tips from the boys at the desk here before getting to the ground. See you soon. We are set at Amy Park for the first leg of this round of 16 clash between Melbourne Victory and Jeonbuk Motors, and we're about to walk out, so that is time to get a tip from the gentleman at the desk here. Mark Bosnich, you're first.
I'm going to go Melbourne Victory 2-1.
You nicked my tip.
I apologise, Adam, but
yeah, I think Victory
joining
win as
us,
well. I don't know about the score, but I think they'll win.
You think they'll win?
Yeah.
Adam?
Victory 2-1.
Just checking, buddy. Just checking.
Thank you, guys. This should be very, very enjoyable. High-pressure football at its highest quality as far as Asian club competition is concerned. We'll be back at halftime. But for now, let's get there with the hero of a few past campaigns in the Champions League for Adelaide United, Travis Dodd, and a hero of Fox Sports, Mike Cockrell.
Thank you very much, Adam. Well, uncharted territory this may be for Melbourne Victory, but it is familiar terrain for Jeonbuk Motors. It's the 9th time in 10 attempts they've made it through to the round of 16, and of course they are former winners of the AFC Champions League. Yes, good evening. It's certainly a special night we've got in store here in Melbourne. There's a real sense of anticipation and excitement the Victory are motivated by that, but they know it will be a formidable challenge against Korea's richest club, one which puts a high premium on success in Asian competition. Jeonbuk Motors are also the dominant force in the K-League. As we've already mentioned, they've won 4 titles in the last 7 seasons, and in that time have never finished outside the top 3. So this is the big test for Kevin Muscat and his team. There is a good omen. A year ago today, on this ground, the Victory won the championship with that grand final win over Sydney FC. The crowd filling up here inside the stadium. The atmosphere was good in the final group game against Gamba Osaka a couple of weeks ago. Club officials are hoping for more people inside the stadium and more noise to get behind the team. A result here at home absolutely crucial to Melbourne Victory's hopes of progressing past the round of 16. They mean business, Jeonbuk Motors, and that's what they're all about in the AFC Champions League. Winners of the ACL in 2006, runners-up in 2011. Eliminated in the quarter-final stage last year by Gamba Osaka, Jeonbuk Motors, and they are desperate to make amends in 2016. And they were given some help by their own federation, who postponed their league match against Gwangju last weekend to give them more time to prepare and acclimatise. They arrived here in Melbourne on Sunday. OK, let's go to the lineups now for Melbourne Victory. No changes from Kevin Muscat. He keeps faith with the starting 11, which did the job here 2 weeks ago against Gamba Osaka. Lawrence Thomas keeps his spot in goals. Nick Ansell and Mathieu Delpierre will marshal the defence. Skipper Carl Valeri will organise the midfield. While, of course, it's an emotional night for Archie Thompson. He plays in front of his home fans for the very last time. On the bench for the home side, attacking options in Connor Payne, George Howard and Jesse Makarunas. For Jeonbuk Motors, Choi Kang-hee has rotated his team both in Asia and at home in the last couple of months, but tonight he keeps those changes to a minimum. Just one change from the final group game 2 weeks ago. Former EPL midfielder Kimbo Kyun replaces the Brazilian Luis Enrique. Veteran Lee Dong-guk has been in vintage form and leads the line. Keep an eye out for their rising star, midfielder Lee Jae-sung. The attacking option on the bench for the visitors, the 29-year-old striker Kim Hyo-ji. And, of course, the Brazilian winger Ricardo Lopez. Your referee this evening is the 38-year-old from Iran, Alireza Fagani. He refereed last year's Asian Cup final between Australia and South Korea. He also refereed the FIFA World Club Cup final in December between Barcelona and Real Madrid. There's Kevin Muscat, 42 years of age these days, approaching his 3rd season in charge of the Victory. In that time, of course, he has won the A-League Championship and the FFA Cup. Now hoping to add to his list of honours in the AFC Champions League. This man knows all about winning in Asia. 11 years now he's been at Jeonbuk, apart from a 2-year spell with the South Korean national team. He was the man in charge when Jeonbuk won the ACL back in 2006. Lee Dong-guk, the star man, no doubt, for Jeonbuk Motors, the former South Korean international. 103 caps for the Korean national team. 37 years of age, Lee Dong-guk, as is Archie Thompson. His final game at home in a Melbourne Victory shirt. His farewell appearance next week in Korea. His future unknown. Let's hope we see him sticking around the A-League beyond this season. So away we go here. Well, we almost get things underway. We'll have a restart. And yes, we are away here in Melbourne. The first leg of the round of 16. Melbourne Victory of Australia. Jeonbuk Motors of South Korea. The man alongside me, Travis Dodd, who was with me a couple of weeks ago for that group game against Gamba Osaka. And Travis, a good performance from Melbourne Victory against the Japanese side, but you would think they would have to go another level again here tonight against Jeonbuk.
Absolutely, Mike, and Victory off to a great start already with some attacking intent.
It's Barbarouses, and it's a shot which tests the goalkeeper.
So important for Melbourne Victory to get off to a good start tonight. We did see 2 weeks ago, towards the end of the game, because of the lack of match preparation, I guess we can say, they did run out of legs towards the end of the game, so important they start well, keep that clean sheet.
Here's Kim Byul-kyun getting outside Georgievsky for a moment. Here's a big inclusion for Jeonbuk. They've started brightly as well. Hasn't been cleared by the Victory in the end. Some much-needed desperation from Georgievsky. An absolutely frenetic start to the match here. Here's Kim Byul-kyun again. Lee Jae-sung. Leonardo. And a chance for the Victory to take a breather, perhaps. And onside was Berisha, but the pass was overhit. He's not too impressed with the delivery. Besart Berisha.
Great opportunity there for Melbourne Victory, and Costa Barbarouses acknowledges the wayward pass. Berisha threw on goal if he'd been able to weight that pass a little bit better. We saw 2 weeks ago again against Gamba, Melbourne Victory did start off a bit sluggish. Hopefully they can get those cobwebs out of the way early, settle into a rhythm and not allow Jeonbuk to get into the game too much.
Kevin Muscat did say in the press conference yesterday that the Victory are going to go hard early. There's always that recurring discussion about match fitness in the ACL. Of course, the Australian sides benefit early in the group stage, but by this stage of the year, it's the Asian sides who are in season.
It also goes to show how important the Asian Champions League is, not only for Jeonbuk, but also for Korean football, with the federation rescheduling the game to allow Jeonbuk to come a couple of days earlier, get ready and prepare for the game, something that we haven't really seen here in Australia.
Yep, most of the players you're seeing out there in those white shirts haven't played a competitive match for around 10 days now. They did have a FA Cup game midweek, Jeonbuk against Anyang, but that was the second string 11 who did the job on that occasion. So the last time most of these players were in action was against Suwon around 10 days ago. That was a match watched by Kevin Muscat, who travelled across to Korea to spy on the opposition. Got a glimpse there of Choi Kang-hee, the Jeonbuk coach. Berisha. He's wriggled away from his man, and that's wonderful play by Besart Berisha. Little fist pump from the Victory striker. Still waiting to hear if he's been included in the Albanian squad for the European Championships next month. The indications are he won't be. Albanian officials did come to Australia, or I should say intended to come to Australia for the final round of the A-League season, but Berisha was suspended, so they didn't make the trip. Here's the Victory with a corner, clipped in, and it's a Jeonbuk player who gets the header away, and a chance here! No flag, and Besart Berisha has opened the scoring for Melbourne Victory. The big game player delivers once again.
Well, the lead up to that goal came from the great work from Besart Berisha there to win the corner. Unable to deal with that flick on Broxham. Able to get the ball back into the 6-yard box. And Berisha, ever the marksman. Right spot at the right time. So deadly. Getting Melbourne Victory off to the perfect start.
That's a classic poacher's goal from Besart Berisha. Some questions will be asked of the goalkeeper, Kwon Sun Tae. who allowed Berisha a free header well inside that 6-yard box. Third goal in the ACL this year from Berisha. He just loves scoring on the big occasion. Jeonbuk, given some very close attention there by both Valeri and Oli Bozanic. Here's another look at the goal. Question marks about the keeper there, Travis?
No, look, don't think the keeper could have really got to that. I think maybe the defenders as well. Ball watching there, pushing out, not knowing where the strikers were or the attacking players were. Defence as a whole will certainly be disappointed to concede off the first set piece of the game.
It's too much on the pass there from Jeonbuk. There he is, Kwon Sun-tae, who made his debut for Korea as a 30-year-old in the World Cup qualifier last September against Laos. So a late bloomer, one of the few Jeonbuk players who is a regular selection. He's getting plenty of criticism back home, Choi Kang-hee, for the chopping and changing he has done with his first 11. Now some anxious moments here for the victory. Leonardo to deliver. And it comes from the Brazilian. Didn't get past first man, who was Georgievski. Thompson. Oh, another touch. And perhaps Barbarouses was away through the middle. He might be in the end anyway. Here is Barbarouses. Thompson. Looking for Berisha. And that'll beat the Albanian over the goal line. What a bright start this has been from Melbourne Victory.
Well, there's no cobwebs, certainly no cobwebs. They look sharp from the outset. Great fluid movement there to get forward. Archie Thompson there just overhitting that one, but certainly looking very dangerous on the counter-attack.
Here come Jeonbuk. No way are they fazed by this scoreline. Here's the youngster, young Yun Ho, screening the midfield, just 19 years of age. Big responsibility for him. You don't get a lot of emotion from Choi Kang-hee, maybe the Ernie Merrick of the K-League.
Not even cracking a smile.
Does have the job for life at Jeonbuk, if you believe what you hear. He's delivered an incredible success for the club. Georgievski, he's been alert for the victory in defence in these opening minutes. Del Pierre with a header. Mathieu Del Pierre, of course, like Archie Thompson, like Costa Barbarouses, playing his final game in front of his own fans. Frenchman heading into retirement, won the victory medal on Saturday night. Was reduced to tears when accepting the medal. Here come Jeonbuk again. Georgievski, well, he telegraphed it. Thompson hesitated. Georgievski was in quickly. Kim Jae-sung has done well. It might break here for Jeonbuk. And, well, unlucky there was Han Kyo-won. The ball just arrived a bit too quickly for his liking.
Jeonbuk's looking very dangerous as well early on. So important for Melbourne Victory to stay disciplined at the back for the full 90 minutes. Make sure they keep the clean sheet. That away goal could be so important in tonight's game.
They do have this wonderful home record as a foundation Melbourne Victory. 9 games now unbeaten in the ACL at home. It was a bit of a fortress. It's become a fortress for them in the Champions League. Second leg in Jeonbuk in a week's time. The scoreline, if you're a Victory fan, is a encouraging one. Down goes Lee Jae-sung. Choi Chung-sun, just a percentage ball forward. Bozanic. Berisha. Broxham looking for Barbarouses. Fullback was there in cover. Choi Jae-sung. Here come the Victory again. Berisha. Bozanic. They've worked it into space, Melbourne Victory. No, that was crucial cover from Choi Chung-sun. He had Thompson on his hammer. And there's that early ball again from Jeonbuk. Delpierre. And the referee has blown the whistle. And that's just outside the box, is it? And a yellow card for the Frenchman. Interesting. Very interesting. Maybe Han Kyo-won felt that was inside the box. There's the initial contact. The referee, Ali Reza Fagani, you'd have to say a fair way away when he made this decision.
Yeah, I think the referee's got it right there. The contact is outside the box. He's fallen over inside. The yellow card, I think, is a right call as well.
Wow. Mathieu Delpierre, once he heard that whistle, would have had his heart in his mouth. What colour will the card be? He stays on the park. Jeonbuk have the free kick just outside the penalty area. And this man, Leonardo, is renowned for his dead ball ability.
And I'm sure this would have been part of the talk during the week, not to allow set pieces in front of goals in this kind of range for this exact reason. And certainly not ideal start for Melbourne Victory and Delpierre to have a yellow card this early on in the piece.
Well, the left-back Choi Jae-sung is also around that free kick, but you would put your house on Leonardo. And it will be Leonardo, and what a strike! A specialty from the Brazilian. Jeonbuk have squared it up. And the highest paid player in the Korean League has produced a big dividend. A very big dividend.
Oh, so deadly. Perfect finish there, and Lawrence Thomas could do nothing but stand and watch that one go in. All important away goal for Jeonbuk now.
So we are back to where we began. Only 14 minutes played, end to end.
Jae-sung with a fistful of Barbarouses' shirt there.
There's Lee Broxham. Barbarouses, what a few days it's been for Lee Broxham. His wife delivering triplets on Saturday. An instant family in the Broxham household.
He's gone straight from the two-seater to the Tarago.
And there's appeals for handball, mostly from the Victory supporters. Cavalieri appealing a little bit too vociferously, according to Ali Reza Fagani. Let's have another look at that. difficult to tell 100% from that angle. The Victory have to settle for a corner. What an action-packed opening 15 minutes we've had. In comes the corner, looking for the flick on by Del Pierre. Here's Georgievski, the back heel. Barbarouses, another corner.
Well worked from Victory there, just to play it off the Korean defender. Get the set piece again.
Again, delivered by Costa. Barbarouses, Georgievski! He leapt so well. Having got there, you would have fancied Daniel Georgievski to at least test the keeper here.
Well, he got up well enough, and the Jeonbuk defender's just not able to deal with Melbourne Victory in and around that area at the moment. Looks like the likely place Victory are going to score during the game. Already dangerous off 2 or 3 set pieces.
Here's Jason Guerrier. Excused from Socceroos duty in England, Jason Guerrier, so he could stay behind and help the Victory in this round of 16. He has been named, though, for the 2-match series against Greece. That squad announced by Ange Postecoglou earlier today. Bozanic hesitated. Jeonbuk proving to be a real handful for the Victory, in particular Mathieu Delpierre. It's an even contest physically, isn't it? And he's got to be careful here, Delpierre, already booked. Straight through the heels of Lee Dong-guk.
Yeah, a couple of fouls against him already, Delpierre. Again, not an ideal situation for a defender to be in so early in the game against a team like Jeonbuk, who are going to be attacking for the full 90 minutes.
Here's Choi Jae-soo. Going to try and whip this in with his left boot towards that penalty spot. Just in front of the goalkeeper. It's a wonderful delivery as well. Shape and pace on that one.
Yeah, great delivery in there, and Choi Kyu-bak able to get the free header. Thankfully for Victory, not on target.
Broxham, good industrious play from the Victory midfielder. Valeri. Georgievski. He's got Thompson to his left, slides it in looking for Berisha. Clever ball. Berisha has possession. Breaks for Georgievski. Tried to play it through the legs of his opponent. Choi Kyu-bak didn't pay off. Ansel. Valeri. Here goes Nick Ansel. Broxham.
Jeonbuk very deep in their own half, allowing Melbourne Victory to have it at the back. Trying to remain compact in that middle of the park there, middle to back third.
It's good build-up play from Melbourne Victory. Rebound suits Oli Bozanic, and Georgievski recycles the ball back to Del Pierre. Here's Nick Ansell dominating the ball at the moment. Melbourne Victory. Last 5 minutes have an 88% of possession. And now they have a free kick. Challenge on Barbarouses came from Choi Jae-soo.
We saw early on in the piece, Jeonbuk pressing every time, putting that intense pressure on the Melbourne Victory players, now sitting off a little bit more, allowing them a bit more possession, just staying compact in the middle, trying to limit the spaces in behind for Victory to get in.
Ansell on the edge of the box. That's a poor delivery for Melbourne Victory. What a wasted opportunity that was. But Han Kyo-won has coughed it up under pressure, it must be said.
Yeah, well done by Gary there to break that up. Win the ball back for Melbourne Victory.
From Del Pierre into the feet of Berisha. Trying to work a metre of space. Broxham. Barbarouses gets past the first man. Clips in a decent ball, just doesn't clear the Jeonbuk defender. That'll be a relieving free kick for the Korean side.
Well, Jeonbuk there with 10 players behind the ball there, almost 10 players inside their own penalty box there to defend that cross. Sign that they are desperate to make sure that they don't concede another one tonight.
Strong header from Del Pierre. Here's Ansell. It's noticeable, Travis, how often Nick Ansell and Del Pierre are pushing into midfield, getting involved in the build-up play.
Yeah, it's Jeonbuk allowing him to come forward, not putting that pressure on. I think Victory need to be careful, though, that if either one of those two do come forward, they don't cough it up and get caught on the counter-attack. Maybe a ploy that Jeonbuk are trying to entice Melbourne Victory into.
There he is, the goal scorer, Leonardo. Comes from Vitoria in Espiritu Santo, the city that was the training base for the Socceroos in the World Cup of 2014. Went to Greece as a youngster. Leonardo speaks fluent Greek. Has played for Brazil at underage level. Now has an annual salary of about 1.4 million, which makes him the highest paid player in Korea. Here's Valeri, Bozanic, Georgievski. Rides the first challenge, Daniel Georgievski, but not the second, and then concedes the free kick. Played quickly by Jeonbuk. Han. And he is wrestled to the ground by Valeri. And that will be a yellow card. The Victory skipper can have few complaints, really. He just manhandled Han Kyo-won. element of frustration here for both Georgievski and Valeri.
Yeah, Jeonbuk quick to restart the ball again, and Kyo-won backing himself there to take on Valeri down the line, and Valeri ended up with the half rugby tackle, I guess.
Scored a couple of goals in the K-League this season, had Jeonbuk. They're in decent form, as is Jeonbuk, undefeated in domestic competition so far. The only team still undefeated in the K-League. Georgievski, cheap giveaway. Here's the teenager, Yunho. Yunho.
Jae-sung, I think, hitting the unintended target there of Jae-soo.
Leonardo, plenty of height on it, looking for Lee Dong-guk. Fairly scrappy period of the game at the moment. Valeri recently booked. His arm getting across the face of Kim Byo-kyun. An immediate apology for the Victory skipper.
Absolutely, doesn't want to find himself in too much trouble with the referee, especially with those cheap fouls. You could hear Kevin Muscat from the sideline urging his players to relax on the ball, trying to play it out instead of the big up and under to clear it. Try to get some effective possession from the back, play out through the midfield like they've done so well early in the piece of the game.
Of course, these two teams met in the ACL 2 years ago. It was a 2-2 draw at this ground. Lee Dong-guk with both goals for Jeonbuk. Choi Kang-hee having nice words to say about the progress of Australian football in the last couple of years in his pre-match media conference. Here's Geria. Ansel again pushing forward into midfield. The Victory centre half.
Well, the whole Jeonbuk team is basically in the back third of the pitch, allowing either Ansel or Del Pierre to travel forward, provide that extra player in the midfield.
Bozanic. Oh, that was almost a wonderful ball from Ollie Bozanic, who pirouetted and tried to pass it through to Archie Thompson. What a crucial interception that was from Choi Chul-sun. Now Barbarouses. Down he goes. Free kick, Melbourne Victory. Leonardo protests his innocence. Where's the card, says Kevin Muscat. I think that's a little bit ambitious. It's an ambit claim, if you like, from the Victory coach. They do have a free kick.
Well, an attacker's tackle from Leonardo then on Barbarouses.
Free kick deflected away for a corner.
What Melbourne Victory will have to do when they win the ball back is try and move the ball forward quickly, not allow Jeonbuk time to get back into their defensive positions and set up, because for the last 9 or so minutes they've been able to get back behind the ball, make it very compact and very difficult for the Victory to break down.
Fourth corner of the game for Melbourne Victory. Delivered by Barbarouses. Throwing a boot at it was Berisha. Here's Thompson. hurts by the pressure on the ball. Thomas cool under pressure as well. Jeonbuk down the line looking for Thompson. He won't contest the ball in the air. Breaks for Bozanic. Here is Archie Thompson. Jeonbuk very, very committed in these challenges. Winning a lot of second ball as well. The Korean side, a strong looking side physically, aren't they?
They certainly are not afraid to put the body on the line in the tackles. Match what the Melbourne Victory are putting out in terms of the physical aspects of the game.
And that pressure on the ball has forced Ollie Bozanic to effectively just lump that one up the park and concede possession. Ansel is the best of throw-ins in his direction. Put under pressure by Lee Dong-guk. Here's Kim Bio-kyun. Had to get the timing right there, Daniel Jeonbuk. Wonderful sliding tackle. Bozanic pressured away by Valeri. It's a bit of a pinball at the moment. Broxham. And Thompson slips, not for the first time tonight, it must be said.
A lot of Victory players have lost their footing tonight, but a great tackle there from Jeonbuk and able to get the ball up and play as we saw the Melbourne Victory continue on from that. Quickly play the ball forward, and Archie Thompson was able to find space. Unfortunately, this time round, Broxham not able to get the ball to him. But you can see when the Victory do get the ball down and move it forward quickly, they are going to find space and time in behind the Jeonbuk defence.
There's Joy. Jae-soo. Now Jeonbuk escaped down that left-hand side, and they needed all the numbers there, Melbourne Victory, under real pressure. A lightning burst down that left channel from Leonardo, initiated by Jae-soo.
Guerrier just unable to get a foot on the ball there, and Leonardo continued his run. Heavy touch there, but a nice little ball to the near stick with Dong-guk making that near post run. Good defending from Melbourne Victory. Jeonbuk looking relatively comfortable in these situations defensively when they do get numbers behind the ball, making it very difficult for the Victory to break down. Will have to require something very special from the midfield front players to be able to break that down.
We saw another one of those forward bursts from Mathieu Delpierre. We've seen Ansel do it on a number of occasions. It seems to be a clear tactic from Kevin Muscat. Jeonbuk nominally playing just the one striker, and Lee Dong-guk is a 4-1-4-1 formation from the Koreans. So a very attacking move, you'd have to say, from the Victory coach. And encouraging his centre halves to add numbers to the build-up, like we've seen.
Well, it makes sense if the Jeonbuk players want to drop very deep.
Here is Lee Jeonbuk dropping deep as we speak. Good pressure on Leonardo, applied by Geria. There's Jeonbuk, the youngster, Yunho. Oh, nutmeg from Jeonbuk. Still in possession, Jeonbuk. And the shot on the turn, it was a regulation for Lawrence Thomas.
Jeonbuk using his body very well there to control the ball there. Just get half a turn, that's all he needed to get a side on goal and get the shot off.
Perhaps best known for his couple of years in the Premier League with Middlesbrough, Lee Jeonbuk. Ironically, didn't score a single goal in England. That's where, I guess, the reputation was born. Played in 2 World Cups for Korea, but not controversially in 2002. We'll get back to that point in a moment. Here's Barbarouses for Melbourne Victory. They've backed off Barbarouses, and that will be a corner. Yes, he was omitted from the Korean squad, Lee Jeonbuk, by Gus Hiddink in 2002 when Korea were co-hosts. Said he was a lazy genius, did Gus Hiddink. That's a backhanded compliment. I think he'd prefer to concentrate on being called a genius rather than lazy. Lee Jeonbuk. He is a huge, huge name in Korean football.
He's a goal-scoring machine now. Disappointing set piece there from Melbourne Victory, electing to go short. And they've had some relatively good success with the direct ball into the box, being able to get free headers onto the ball.
Berisha, Bozanic. The ball has crossed the byline. Goal kick for Jeonbuk.
I think the call may be offside. Bozanic running into an offside position there from the touch of Berisha.
The offside. That's not a goal kick. Here's Valeria, skimmed off his head. It's Kim Byung-kun runs the first challenge. Broxham. Well, he opted to go long there, Lee Broxham. Probably better off going short to Berisha.
Broxham on the right line of thinking, I believe, trying to get that ball forward, probably took the wrong option. But if Melbourne Victory are going to be effective going forward, it does need to be early so that Jeonbuk can't settle in defence.
Johnson. Yunho. How about that for a touch from Leonardo? How about that for defending from Jason Geria?
Very well done from the Socceroo again. In that one-on-one position. As was spoken about in the pre-match coverage, Geria's one-on-one individual battle with Leonardo is going to be so important to the outcome of this game.
Well, right now, Jeonbuk doing a better job of keeping the ball than Melbourne Victory. 5 minutes remaining in this first half. It's been a pulsating contest to this point, a goal apiece. High tempo to the game, full-blooded commitment. It's emphasising really how important this match is. Melbourne Victory into this stage of the competition for the very first time. It's a completely different story for Jeonbuk Motors. Out comes Lawrence Thomas, a long, long way out. He backed himself all the way, the Victory goalkeeper, and having done that, he delivered under pressure.
Well, he committed early, and he had to commit 100%. Exactly what he did. As a good goalkeeper should, coming through his own defenders, attackers and all.
Quite break for Berisha. And the Victory have it back. Here's Geria.
Ansel did so well to read the play there and intercept that pass, and undoes the good work by playing the ball out, but Barbarouses, good pressure there.
Desperately trying to cut it back for Berisha. Georgievski. Well work between Georgievski and Thompson. In the end, he was caught in two minds, wasn't he, Daniel Georgievski?
Yeah, not sure.
Very strong in this first half.
Yeah, not sure what he was trying to do there, trying to cut that back to take the player on one-on-one, get across into the box.
Still the home side shading possession.
Jeonbuk content to allow Melbourne Victory play it across the middle third of the pitch. Melbourne Victory need to remain patient, not to force the ball into hard areas where they're not going to be able to retain possession.
Barbarouses. Lovely from Barbarouses. Well, that was a wonderful run from the Kiwi international Costa Barbarouses, tormenting the Jeonbuk defenders.
Well, it's excellent play from Melbourne Victory, being able to maintain possession, keep moving the ball across the pitch, waiting for that opportunity to come where Jeonbuk aren't tracking players, and it came with Barbarouses.
Corner delivered, dealt with by Kwan Suntae, the goalkeeper. Barbarouses has it back, whips it in again. Well, needed to win that header, Jason Geria, otherwise Jeonbuk might have been through on the counter. Here's Valeri, Del Pierre. We're inside the final minute. One extra minute to be added on to this first half. First half, which you'd have to say is absolutely flown by. Here's Leonardo. Ignored the run from Han Kyun-won. And in the end it was costly. It's the Victory who finish up with possession. Thompson, relatively subdued in this first half, Archie Thompson. Bozanic looking for Berisha. He'll get there in the end. Besart Berisha gets away from the first challenge. Still Berisha, a couple of step-overs, and takes a hefty swipe at the ball. The shot clears the frame of the goal, and there is the half-time whistle from the Iranian referee. What a first half of football we've had here in Melbourne. Besart Berisha giving Melbourne Victory the lead. The Brazilian Leonardo with a super free kick, equalising for Jeonbuk Motors. Half-time here in Melbourne. Melbourne Victory 1, Jeonbuk Motors 1.
Yeah, terrific 45 minutes. Thank you very much, Mike and Travis. Have a break. We'll be back after this break with Bozza and Alex Wilkinson to analyse that first half in Melbourne. See you soon.
That's what she told me.
Welcome back to live Champions League action on Fox Sports. It's half-time in Melbourne. Melbourne Victory got the early goal they were craving. Unfortunately, they copped one on the chin not long after a superb free kick from Leonardo, the Brazilian maestro for Jeonbuk Motors. It is 1-1 at half-time. In the studio, I've got Mark Bosnich and former Jeonbuk player, now Sydney FC player, Alex Wilkinson, to chat about things. Bos, what did you make of the first half?
Cracking first half. The commentators were exactly right. Absolutely flew by because of the quality. Melbourne Victory, wonderful start. Really exposing Jeonbuk's problems with set plays, and we saw that. But an exquisite free kick from Leonardo. There's world-class players. If you give them a chance like that, that's what's going to happen. I think after that, there was a bit of a battle then in the midfield for a bit of supremacy. But then I would say the last 10-15 minutes, once again, Melbourne Victory pretty much penned them in.
Wilco, you reckon Jeonbuk would be a bit surprised at what came at them early stages?
I don't know if they'd be surprised. I think in a way they were probably expecting it. Obviously Melbourne being the home team and needing a result, but the first 15 minutes was really open, and then as soon as Leonardo scored that free kick, Jeonbuk sort of said, all right, well, we've probably got our way goal, and every time Melbourne Victory sort of did the slow build-up, they had every player back in their own half. So first half, the first 15 minutes was great, and I think now we'll see in the second half, Victory obviously have got to really push and try to get that second goal now that they've copped one. So it'll be interesting to see if Jeonbuk really retreat and try to hold on.
Let's have a look at the stats before we get to the big moments from that first half, and here's how it's broken down there. You're backing up Wilco's claim that Jeonbuk are kind of sitting off a little now since they got that goal, especially. Well, you can see with the possession statistics, Melbourne Victory dominating in that area. However, they have been dangerous when they have had their foot on the ball, and they've got the ball into the area more times than the home side. Wilco, the first goal, defensive catastrophe.
Yeah.
Anytime a striker gets a free header from a set piece which bobbles around on the 6-yard box is just that. But what on earth happened here?
Yeah, they've just switched off for the second ball there, obviously. The flick on in the near post, and then, switched off there and let Broxy get the ball back in, and no one's decided to pick up Berisha, and whether the keeper should have come or a defender's got to be there to clear it, I don't know. But that wasn't the only one. There was a couple more set pieces after that where I think Georgievski could have scored one, and a few other where they've looked pretty average as well.
So Besart Berisha setting them on the way in the best way possible. Boz, not a lot Lawrence Thomas could do about the equaliser.
No, I don't think there was not a lot two goalkeepers could have done about the equaliser. The only thing, and we spoke about this in the green room briefly when you asked about it, the only thing you could think of, a definite foul, it was fortunate that the referee, because he was behind play, made the right decision and didn't call it a penalty. The only thing they can do, which is very difficult, you have to have an experienced player, there was somebody just before he's about to kick it to go onto that near post. But barring that is completely unstoppable, and that's why he's the top paid player in Korea. He's world class.
Does he do this on a regular basis, Leonardo?
Yeah, well, semi-regular, yeah. I've seen him score quite a few in games, and to be fair, he probably works on them at least once a week in training. So not too much of a surprise. I said in the green room that he's pretty dangerous in there, and sure enough, he put it away.
You shouted
I
it,
thought I might have jinxed him, but
he didn't. No, he didn't.
You surprised, Boz, how open it was in that first half? Some games we've seen this Champions League.
I think that actually suits Melbourne Victory, especially with the transition. That was another thing that Jeonbuk obviously found it a little bit difficult when Melbourne Victory was transitioning from the break. 2 or 3 times they looked as though a decent ball and they were completely away, and that's obviously what Choi Kang-hee was on about before the game when he was talking about the pace and how they break. And I was a little bit surprised that Jeonbuk kind of got into that type of battle. Like, it was kind of like a little bit of a basketball game. It was going from one end to the other, which is great for the neutral. But I think once they got the equaliser, I think they had time to regroup, like Wilco said, and they were like, and the coaches obviously said to them, look, listen, just calm yourselves down. If we get involved in this tit for tat type of game, Melbourne Victory are going to beat us, and beat us quite convincingly. And they just dropped back and just got their defensive shape back. But still, towards the end, there's that chance that Alex was on about from the corner once again. This time was to Georgievski. Towards the end, once again, a great run by Berisha and one by Barbarouses as well. If they do drop back like they were doing the last 15-20 minutes, here's the one from Berisha I was just talking about, Victory will get more chances, and that's for definite. You just got to make sure, from a Jeonbuk perspective, if they are going to drop deep, they've got to be very, very careful, because if Victory start going against the grain a little bit, they don't like to do it, but you know what? When you see it's working, they should do it. Start playing balls in the box. They look all over the shop, completely all over shop in terms of defending from crosses.
Do you think there'll be a readjustment, Wilco, in the second half from Jeonbuk when they are going forward, or in terms of attacking mindset, not so much when they're going forward, but attacking mindset? The 17, Lee Jae-sung, who you were saying earlier should end up in Europe this transfer window coming. Is he enough involved? You expect more out of him?
Yeah, haven't seen too much of him. Haven't seen, apart from the goal, too much of Leonardo, and also the other winger, Han Kyu-won, who is also a very quick player and loves to get in behind. So Victory have done well in nullifying them so far. But it'll be interesting to see, obviously, if Jeonbuk, as we said before, sit back for the rest of the half and really are happy with a 1-1, or do they go and try to get another goal, which means, going into the tie next week with a 2-1 away win, they'd almost be, very difficult to beat.
That's the hard thing, isn't it, Bozza, when you get that away goal earlier. So what do you do then? It's not like you get it early, because there's never a bad time to score.
Hold steady. Just hold steady. If I was a Jeonbuk coach, Choi Kang-hee, I'd be saying to them, look, don't get involved with tit for tat with this, when they attack, we're going to attack, okay? Because we're not going to win that type of game. We haven't got the players to do that. Hold yourself steady, but I wouldn't have them be so deep because they're not good on defending crosses. If Wilco was playing, different story. No, I don't want to
blow smoke
embarrass. No, I don't want to embarrass you, but I can now see why you were so important to them, because from a crossing perspective, like I said, every time the ball goes in, the only thing that funny enough, that Jeonbuk may have in their favour is it's not really in Melbourne Victory's DNA to get the ball out wide and just start whipping balls in. And that may be a little bit in their favour. But I'll be saying to them, look, listen, I don't mind you dropping maybe 35 metres from goal and then defending from there, but not all the way to the box, because you're just inviting pressure.
Tell you one thing that won't be happening right now.
What's that, buddy?
The halftime speech from Choi Kang-hee wouldn't be delivered with a laugh somehow.
No,
I don't
doesn't laugh too much.
My goodness, he's the most serious human being on the face of the planet. Anyway, it's successful for him. He's got a pretty good side and a big 45 minutes ahead for his side. Can they get that other crucial away goal, or Melbourne Victory, can they push on? Let's have a look at what's coming up tomorrow night. Of course, we've got the second of the Australian sides. First time ever that 2 Australian sides are through to the knockout stages of one Champions League campaign. It's Sydney FC's turn tomorrow in China against Shandong Luneng. They were the team that knocked out Adelaide United in the playoff earlier this year. This is on 5:02 as well, and we will be on air from 9 p.m. Eastern. Mark Bosnich, and it's a goalkeepers reunion. Ante Kovic is joining us in the studio as well. So a lot of common sense to be spoken at the desk. We're off to a break, second half, not too far away. Welcome back. Time for the second half. It's back to Travis Todd and Mike Cockrell. At full time, of course, we'll get the thoughts of Mark Bosnich and Alex Wilkinson.
Yeah, thanks very much, Adam. Well, Jeonbuk Motors will be pretty satisfied with that first half performance. They got the away goal. That's so crucial, which goes without saying. Bessa Berisha will be devastated that his early goal was matched by the opponents, but all to do for the Victory in the second half. Huge challenge in front of the home side. Huge incentive for for the home side. They have the crowd behind them. They have the emotion surrounding the final appearances of Thompson, Delpierre and Barbarouses. And Melbourne Victory pull this one out of the fire. They need a win, don't they, Travis Dodd? They showed some good patches in that first half. But Jeonbuk demonstrating also in that first half all the experience they've gained over the years of Champions League experience.
Well, exactly right, Mike. They certainly can't afford to concede another goal, another away goal in this fixture. Need to go out with a positive frame of mind to try and win this game. The biggest thing that will come into question is the Melbourne Victory players' match fitness. They fatigued 2 weeks ago in the last group game. We're 2 weeks down the track now, and they again haven't had any more games, so the final 10-15 minutes could be telling. Could be an opportunity for Jeonbuk to capitalise on that lack of match preparation.
Geria. Just slide it in for Barbarouses, and once again Jeonbuk go early and go long. Looking for Lee Dong-guk. Delpierre in front, goes back to his goalkeeper. Looked to be a handball, but the referee decided against making that ruling. It certainly came off the arm of Valeri. Here's Geria. Back to Ansel. Now Delpierre. Here's Thompson. Clever from Archie Thompson. Bozanic! Berisha! What an opportunity! What a chance for Melbourne Victory! Bessart Berisha gobbles up those chances 9 times out of 10. He's butchered it.
Again, early on in the half, Archie Thompson, Bozanic combining well, and the cross across the 6-yard box. Berisha with the goal begging. Hopefully that opportunity won't come back to haunt the Victory later on.
Jesu, clever around the corner and almost picked out Kyewon. Thomas there in the nick of time. That was a very smart ball from the left fullback for Jeonbuk, the 33-year-old, the veteran. Won the Champions League with Ulsan Hyundai 4 years ago. Arrived at Jeonbuk this season from Pohang Steelers.
That is a delightful ball in from Jesu. Curling that in behind the defenders for the attacker to run onto, and a matter of inches, you would imagine, in that ball.
Ball coming up the back of the head of the assistant referee. Here's Ansel. Leonardo.
Good pressure there from Jeonbuk to turn the ball over.
Here they come again, Jeonbuk. Some desperate defending, this time from Georgievski. It's another positive forward run from Kyewon. Barbarouses. He ran into a dead end, cost to Barbarouses. Leonardo.
They didn't have a lot of options going forward there. Just Jeonbuk down the line. Jeonbuk pushed a lot further up and wide, almost standing on top of Georgescu there.
Lumped forward by Choi Jae-soo. Barbarouses gets away with a fairly heavy touch. Now Broxham, Berisha back to Broxham. Bozanic opens up the space for Georgescu, but he just couldn't get the ball where he wanted it. And now Jeonbuk get the numbers back behind the ball. Bozanic will keep it in.
Barbarouses needed to anticipate there. Was on his heels on the outside of the box, maybe thinking the ball was dead and that Bozanic wasn't going to get there, but worked very well and ball made it to the far post.
Berisha, I should say. Another sighter from Besart Berisha. Will be very keen to redeem himself.
And Berisha does well to get into a little bit of space there. Get the shot off on the left foot, but didn't get a good purchase on the ball and always going over as it's come off the boot.
Travis, he has looked a lot sharper to me tonight, Berisha, than he did a couple of weeks ago against Gamba Osaka. Do you agree?
Yeah, he certainly looks in the mood for it. It's a difficult one to put a finger on why that can happen. They've gone another 2 weeks, as we've already mentioned, without playing. But the motivation is certainly there. Not only from Berisha, but I'm sure the whole Melbourne Victory side.
The up and under in the general direction of Jeonbuk. Jae-sung. Jeonbuk. Does look a threat, doesn't he, hand Jeonbuk? Leonardo's shot was on target.
Well, we saw how deadly he was from the set piece, but from there it's going to have to be something really special to beat Thomas. Make it through defenders as well.
Broxham. Berisha. Georgescu. Now it breaks for hand Jeonbuk. Danger here for Melbourne Victory. And Thomas comes out and claims some pretty heavy contact as well with Lee Jae-sung, who stayed down, just winded. Some speculation that Lee Jae-sung may be heading to Europe in the transfer window next month. Bundesliga clubs, English Premier League clubs keeping tabs on him. He is regarded as one of the rising stars of Korean football. Pierre strong in the challenge. Berisha. Perfectperfectly weighted pass from Berisha to pick out Broxham. Gets it back, Bessart Berisha. Now Thompson. Looking for Berisha. Barbarouses is in there. Leonardo back defending for Jeonbuk.
Berisha just overhit that ball in there, but Archie Thompson able to get there and get a foot around it to get it back in the danger area. Desperation from both Berisha and Barbarouses. This instruction there comes from Kevin Muscat to keep the ball moving.
Guerrier. Wrong option from Barbarouses. Jeonbuk can't counter quickly. The Victory won it back high up the park. Bozanic tried to flick it through for Berisha. Broxham. Guerrier working with Barbarouses. He scored the goal, Costa Barbarouses, in Korea against Suwon, which ultimately progressed Melbourne Victory to the round of 16. Another one here tonight, Costa Barbarouses. He's been a productive outlet for Melbourne Victory. Berisha's been lively, but he has missed a gilt-edged opportunity. Maybe Archie Thompson a little bit quiet compared to his performance against Gambo Osaka a fortnight ago.
Certainly getting a lot more involved in the second half, Archie Thompson.
Do you think all the emotion of tonight might be catching up with him, Travis? His final game in front of his own fans for his one and only A-League club, Archie Thompson. He scored the Victory's first ever A-League goal back in 2005. Been here ever since, apart from a short stint with PSV Eindhoven.
Well, there's no doubt it's a big occasion for him tonight.
Half-hearted appeals for a handball.
But Archie's a true professional. I'm sure he's prepared for this game as he would any other game.
Keep it moving!
Maybe he's putting extra pressure on himself because he wants to go out in front of the home fans with a good performance. I'm sure if he plays his natural game, he'll be able to be as effective as he has been for so many years. Again, Melbourne Victory just need to be patient, not try and rush or force that ball, as Valeri tried to put one in earlier.
Good decision.
Ollie Bozanic back to Del Pierre. Very organised without the ball, aren't they, Jeonbuk? Here's a chance for the counter. Del Pierre at full stretch. Sticks out that long right leg of his. Back to his keeper, Lawrence Thomas. And Lee Dong-guk was, I think, attempting a shot. He's an outrageously talented footballer, Lee Dong-guk. So why not? 4 goals this season in the K-League for Jeonbuk.
Go, Jace!
Jae-soo. All that experience from Choi Jae-soo. got front position against rather exuberant Jason Guerrier. There's the goal scorer, Leonardo.
A little bit of a cheeky celebration there, maybe referring to the goal in the Aussie rules. Quite similar to what Jeonbuk did in Adelaide. Actually, when I was playing for Adelaide United, he scored in around the 16 game there. Did the same celebration in front of the Adelaide fans.
Well, he kept it in, but in the process he has conceded a free kick, much to his bitter frustration. And Jeonbuk about to make their first change. And it will be Ricardo Lopez, the Brazilian, to replace Lee Dong-guk. Interesting. So an early mark for the veteran, who has battled without reward tonight. Scored 2 goals the last time he played at this stadium a couple of years ago. No such luck tonight. Pretty handy man to bring off the bench for Jeonbuk, though. Ricardo Lopez, 25-year-old Brazilian, who came to Korea last year and made an immediate impression with Jeju United. 11 goals in 33 games with them. This is his first season with Jeonbuk. Zanik, all very tight in there. Once again, though, Jeonbuk defend in numbers, look to counter. Lopez, his first involvement, a nice release.
Melbourne Victory able to get numbers back behind the ball, but Lopez doing enough to hold it, allowing Jeonbuk midfield to press forward and support.
Choi Jae-soo. It's a trip by the Jeonbuk defender.
Good defensive work from Barbarouses there. Tracking the fullback in Jae-soo. Earning the foul to get possession back for the Victory.
Thompson. It is path blocked, Archie Thompson, by Choi Chul-soon. A couple of tugs of the shirt of his opponent as well, Archie Thompson. Perhaps a little bit fortunate. Oh, it's spotted by the referee. Corner, Melbourne Victory. Their 7th of the match. Driven in, looking for Ansel. Cleared by Jeonbuk. Here's Kim. He releases Kyo-won.
Kyo-won has been that release valve for Jeonbuk. In that ball playing forward quickly. So many times is making those forward runs to try and get it behind the Melbourne Victory defence.
Barisha. Still trying to provide the spark, Besard Barisha. Geria sloppy. His eye off it at the crucial moment, Jason Geria.
I think it's only a matter of time before Kevin Muscat goes to the bench, brings on the fresh legs.
Melbourne Victory have only won once against Korean opposition in 10 matches, and that was way back in 2008 against Jeonnam Dragons, so they have found the going tough against K-League sides. Conversely, Jeonbuk had never lost to an A-League side, so right now it's about breaking that sequence for Melbourne Victory. They're going to progress. They've got a free kick here. And his number is up, Archie Thompson. He's won the free kick, and I don't think he's figured it out just at the moment. George Howard about to come on for Melbourne Victory. And that is the moment that he works out what is occurring. Archie Thompson will leave the field for the last time as a Victory player in front of the Victory fans. And he'll take a huge slice of history with him. The man who scored the Victory's first ever goal. He's played more games and scored more goals for the Victory than anyone else. Will never forget his 5 goals in that grand final. It has truly been a remarkable career. And he's got one game to go. That's a long, long way from home in Korea next week. But right now it's an emotional moment for Archie Thompson. 225 games, 90 goals for this club. He salutes the crowd for the last time, and you feel the Victory will never quite be the same without him.
And quite deservingly gets a standing ovation from the adoring fans one last time.
There's Leonardo. We're resting on sentiment for Jeonbuk as they look to counter. Look how fiercely the ball has been contested. Jeonbuk, and blazing over the top is Han Kyo-won. Well, no surprise, the tears are flooding down the cheeks of Archie Thompson. Travis, I'm going to ask you a question. It's a subject of great debate. Is he the greatest A-League player ever, Archie Thompson? He's been there from day one, 11 seasons, all those goals, all those games.
Well, he's certainly up there. What he's given the league over 11 years has been immense. On a consistent basis year after year. We've had players like Del Piero who've come for a couple of years and provided great entertainment, but Archie has been able to do it so many years. As it really starts to sink in, great sign there with his kids' names, Axel and Bella. With him, I'm sure, throughout his whole career with the Victory.
Well, whichever way you look at it, it is the end of an era. We don't know whether we have seen the end of Archie Thompson in the A-League. Well, I'll tell you what, wherever he goes and wherever his playing career, what's left of it takes him, I'd back him to be in that grandstand with those Victory fans at some stage in the near future.
I'm sure he'll be leading the chants. Great sign of respect from the Victory supporters there, still chanting his name.
Here's Lopez. He's cut down by Ansel. Too happy with the treatment, Ricardo Lopez.
Yeah, good touch there from Lopez. Very good touch there.
Leonardo. Jeonbuk. Choi Jeonbuk does get the ball into the middle. Jesse Macarunas getting stripped and ready for action on the sideline. Another change imminent for Melbourne Victory. We're told it will be Ollie Bozanic who is sacrificed. Georgievski. It's come off George Howard. Victory caught napping at the quick throw. Well, that's a heavy collision between Howard and Lim Jong-yun, who courageously gets back to his feet. I thought he took a pretty heavy knock to the head there, the Jeonbuk centre half.
Yeah, that initial contact didn't look like it was pretty. Howard raised the booty.
I think he's got one in the forehead.
Certainly putting the body on the line.
And here's that second change we talked about. So Kevin Muscat trying to liven up proceedings. A couple of substitutions in quick succession. No change to that halftime scoreline. Victory anxious, desperate, driven, motivated to get themselves another goal.
Not sure what Barbarouses was trying to attempt there. If it was a cross inside the box with the outside of the foot, just not able to execute it properly. Good challenge for Jesse Macarunas coming on now. He's been on the fringe for a long time now. He'll certainly be looking to try and stamp his name on the game and force his way into a starting 11 position more regularly. Great opportunity tonight.
It's very willing still. 75 minutes gone. Nobody's pulling out of a challenge from either side. Jeonbuk will be back in league action against Jeonnam at the weekend. Victory heading to Korea on Saturday. They arrive early Sunday local time. They'll have 2 full days to prepare for the return leg. Melbourne Victory. Jeonbuk, of course, had that league match in between. So, Travis, much as they'll be frustrated having conceded this goal, 1-1 draw at home, still keeps it very much alive for Melbourne Victory. Not ideal, but no disaster either.
No, it's certainly not, and with 14 minutes to go plus stoppages, still opportunities for Melbourne Victory to come away with another goal. Equally as important, though, that they don't concede a second. Certainly cannot afford to give another away goal away in these crucial knockout stages of the league.
Slip there from Georgievski. Looking for Howard. That will be a corner kick. Eight corners now for Melbourne Victory. Jeonbuk haven't had a single one.
Well, so far, the majority of the delivery from Barbarouses has been trying to lob him in on top of the keeper's head, get a lot of bodies in the way, put that pressure on the keeper.
It's George Howard now trying to impede the sidelines of the Jeonbuk goalkeeper. Valeri pumps it in, the flick on from Del Pierre. Ansel has stayed forward. Here's Lopez. And that's a free kick. It came in from an angle, Daniel Georgievski. He felt he got plenty of ball. Del Pierre is arguing the case for his fellow defender. I think it was Barbarouses. Kept it in. No, he hasn't. Interesting idea from Jeonbuk. Choi Jae-soo lurking on the opposite side of the field.
Well, he did see that Barbarouses was further advanced and Guerrier was already occupied with an attacker. Space was certainly there, the delivery just overhit.
Danger here for the Victory. And the control of Kyo-won. Abandoned him at the crucial moment. He's looked so lively though, hasn't he, Han Kyo-won? Full of running. Clever running as well.
Always looking to get in behind those little arced runs in behind the Melbourne Victory defenders. Great ball in there from Yun Ho as well.
They do have their first corner now, Jeonbuk. Delivered near post, dealt with comfortably though. Besart Berisha.
Kyo-won also maybe showing signs of fatigue there, stretching out the calves, maybe starting to cramp up.
Choi Jae-soo. Makarunas trying to win it back to the Victory. Look at the pressure. And it breaks for Costa Barbarouses. Wonderful goalkeeping. Good sweeping up by Konsei Tae. Had to get the timing right. Here's George Howard. He's got Georgievski to his left.
Great cover there from Sante.
Hasn't had much to do, has he, the Jeonbuk goalkeeper? But that was a very, very important contribution.
So aware, already there to anticipate any ball to come through, and the deflection off of Barbarouses, he was there to clean that up, relieve the danger.
In it comes once again, flicked on! And Broxham at full stretch, unable to get the contact.
Great delivery from Makarunas there, and the flick on from Georgievski, spot on. Probably needed someone with the long legs like Del Pierre or Ansel on the far post for that one.
Barbarouses. There goes Makarunas. The challenge came from Lim Jong-gil. Fairly cynical from the Jeonbuk centre half, but he escapes.
Probably a bit fortunate for Melbourne Victory as well that the referees called that one back. Barbarouses tried to play a quick free kick and played it straight into the path of Kim Gyo-kyung.
There is the first caution to a Jeonbuk player, Han Kyo-won.
Well, he does the right thing there, Kyo-won, to try and block the attack, but the arms up and around the face of Georgievski. Probably the reason that the referee's given the card on that occasion.
Del Pierre keeps possession. Del Pierre. Barbarouses looking for Berisha. Darius header. To Wellington Phoenix, his hometown club. Next season, Costa Barbarouses. Before then, he will be heading to Papua New Guinea to play for the New Zealand national team in the Oceania Nations Cup. That's early next month. The All Whites hoping to qualify for next year's FIFA Confederations Cup by winning the Oceania title. Barbarouses will be a key player for them. Broxham. Howard free to his left. Howard. Still George Howard. And his control let him down. Lopez ran out of room. Good pressure from Ansel. Finishing strongly, Melbourne Victory.
Great energy from Melbourne Victory. So late in the game. Desperate to find that second goal to take in to the away leg.
Makarunas with the set-piece responsibilities. Important touch from Barbarouses. Good desperation as well from Broxham as Lopez looked to escape. Here is Makarunas. Georgievski over the head of Berisha. There's Valeri.
Victory, I think, have to be wary when pressing so many numbers forward this late in the game. It's not do or die tonight. It's only the halfway point.
Barbarouses drives it in. And here's Lopez away for Jeonbuk. Still Ricardo Lopez. Still Lopez. Great block from Nick Ansell. And a change to be made by Jeonbuk. And it is the 19-year-old Yang Yun-ho to be replaced by Kim Young-chan. Maturity well beyond his years, Yang Yun-ho. I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about him in the future. Key role in this Jeonbuk side. Huge responsibility on his shoulders. He has been very disciplined in that role for Jeonbuk tonight. And it's corner number 2 for Jeonbuk. Whipped in. Oh, what a chance that was. Let off there for Melbourne Victory. And it was the substitute straight onto the pitch, and the ball coming off his shoulder with the goal at his mercy. Kim Young-chan.
What an impact that would have been as your first touch.
Lopez keeps his feet. Ricardo Lopez. He's been lively since coming on. Here's Han Kyo-won. Guerrier's header. Been as influential as perhaps was expected. Kim Byo-kyun scored a goal in the EPL for Cardiff City at Old Trafford against Manchester United a few years ago. Played all of his football outside career until this year. Played in Japan for Sarazo Osaka, where he was the replacement for Shinji Kagawa. So a good pedigree for the 26-year-old. Broxham. Is there a use of the arm there by perhaps Han Kyo-won? He's caught flat-footed, wasn't he, George Howard?
Not expecting that ball there from Ansell. Oh, Valeri, sorry. Touch there from the Melbourne Victory bench. Congratulating Archie Thompson on a fantastic career for the Victory at home.
It's a fantastic career, full stop really, for Archie Thompson. When you go back to where it all began in Morwell for Gippsland Falcons, when he headed down there on trial, put through his paces in the car park by Frank Arrock. Got a contract with the Gippsland Falcons, and from there it began for Archie Thompson. Had 3 very productive years in Belgium with Liesse as well. And of course we should not forget his contribution for the Socceroos as well. 54 caps, 28 goals, 13 in one game. That's a world record. 13 goals against American Samoa in a World Cup qualifier.
Known as the Bush Bullet. The Falcons, wasn't he?
Berisha Georgievski.
Smart from Georgievski there, knowing that he wasn't going to be able to get that cross in, putting it out for a throw-in, so Victory can maintain pressure in the final third. Jeonbuk certainly won't be any hurry to play out these final few minutes.
Well, the look on the face of Kevin Muskin can't hide his disappointment at this scoreline. We've got a free kick to defend here, Melbourne Victory. They need to keep their concentration in these last 90 seconds or so. Again, the up and under from Jeonbuk. There's a card for George Howard. Looks rather bemused. Third yellow card to a Melbourne Victory player. And another free kick for the home side to defend, but Jeonbuk goes short on this occasion. Then they lump it forward. Delpierre's header. There's another free kick. 3 in a row for Jeonbuk. Georgievski leaping all over the back of his opponent, but there's no time to take it. A result which does give Melbourne Victory hope, but a result which certainly suits Jeonbuk Motors more. The first leg of this round of 16 match in the AFC Champions League has finished all square. Besart Berisha with the opening goal of the game. Leonardo, the Brazilian, with a wonderful free kick to square things up for the K-League side. These two teams meet again in a week's time in Jeonbuk. It's a match which had everything, a match which had plenty of emotion surrounding Archie Thompson. Full time here in Melbourne. Melbourne Victory 1, Jeonbuk Motors 1. So a big job ahead of the A-League side. They'll head to Korea on Saturday. Archie Thompson will be in the travelling party. His Victory career will come to an end. A long way from home. His final appearance in front of his own fans tonight. An emotional night for him, as well as Mathieu Delpierre, of course, the winner of the Victory Medal for Player of the Season. It's his last game in front of his own fans. Likewise, Costa Barbarouses, but it is the legend, the icon, Archie Thompson, who has grabbed most of the attention. 225 games stretching back to the first round of the first season of the A-League when he scored the club's first ever goal, the oldest ever player to play for Melbourne Victory. And there's been tears, now there's a smile, but the tears will be back, you would imagine. He does wear his heart on his sleeve, doesn't he, Archie Thompson? And Travis, just quickly, we are seeing the end of an era, aren't we?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He's been around for so long, always provides entertainment on and off the pitch. And if this is to be the end of the career for his A-League career, he will be sorely missed. So hopefully whatever the future holds for him, we do see him again.
Okay, well, he is the man of the moment, Archie Thompson. He is now with Michael Zapponi.
Well, Archie, you've had a lot of special moments for this club, but how did that rank?
Yeah, it was pretty emotional, mate. Still is. I mean, God, it's been a long 2-3 weeks. I tell you what, the tear ducts are just about empty. But that chant and that cheer that the supporters gave me was something I'll live with for the rest of my life. And it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like I consider myself to be one of those guys that are in the terraces that support the club. I mean, I've always worn my heart on my sleeve, and I've said that I bleed blue, and that will continue. I mean, I love this club, and I love the supporters, and they've made it very special for me.
Over 260 games when you count all competitions, 101 goals in all competitions. What does this club mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, the players, like I've said it so many times, but it's the players, and again, I'll say it again. It's the people that you meet, the people that touch you, the people that you touch, and you know, it's been a roller coaster of a ride. Something that I'll never forget. It's been very, very special, and I love the supporters. Like I said, from day one, the supporters are this club, and like I said, I'm glad they have adopted me as one of theirs, and with that chant. And like I said, I don't have to say it. I think when anyone thinks of Melbourne Victory, they think of Archie Thompson. So that's a great legacy to leave. There was a lot of talk about retiring at number 10. What about it, boys?
Speaking about family, I know that it was a long time ago that 2005 you scored your first goal for Melbourne Victory a couple of metres away from here in the old Olympic Park, and it wasn't that far off for your boy being born that day, and your celebration. The children mean a lot to you, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and I mean it's the kids are very special, and my kids are very special. It's a shame they couldn't be here today, and I wish they had, but I know they're thinking about me. I love them very much. And the kids too. I mean, I'm a big kid at heart myself, so I can easily get down to their level, and I love the kids. The kids, you know, like I said, I give time to the kids because 30 seconds. It just takes 30 seconds to change someone's life, and I'm glad that I've had the opportunity to change many lives. So.
You've done that brilliantly, and congratulations on a great career at Melbourne Victory. One more to go.
Yep, definitely. It was a good result tonight. I mean, we wouldn't like to not concede, but it's going to be tough, but we'll see what goes on.
Thanks again.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, Apples.
He does have one more game to play for Melbourne Victory, but a special night, and well, should it have been as well at Amy Park. Melbourne Victory saying goodbye, the fans saying goodbye, live in action to that legend, that absolute club legend, A-League legend, Australian football legend as well, and Costa Barbarouses and Mathieu Delpierre, who won the Victory Medal the other night. He too has played his last game, home game, at Amy Park. But it's all about Archie, the farewell, and fair enough too, boss.
Well, it is. Look, I don't know if I'm getting old or not, Wilco, but that's nearly twice now in 2 weeks. Andrea Bocelli singing "Time to Say Goodbye" with Claudio Ranieri, and watching that reception for Archie Thompson, it pretty much brought a tear to my eye. I think anyone who was watching will probably testify to feeling the same. Wonderful career, and he is right. When you think of Melbourne Victory, you think Archie Thompson. Great send-off by the supporters and also by the club as well. And congratulations to him. Shame he couldn't get a goal and a win for tonight, but there's still a long way to go in this tie. But wonderful moment. These are great moments in Australian football, and people should treasure these.
Wilco, you've played against the guy.
Yeah.
Not easy to play against the guy, is he? Even now as well.
Yeah, exactly right. He's, you know, had many battles with him, and you know, over the 10 years of the A-League, I think he's definitely up there with the most successful striker we've had, if not one of the better players we've ever had in the A-League. And you know, congratulations to him. He's had a fantastic career, and hopefully he can end it next week with you know, Victory qualifying and getting through the next round.
Yeah, Alex Wilkinson, former Jeonbuk defender, and of course current Socceroo, and Mark Bosnich here for the post-game analysis of the match that we've just seen. We will get to the match in a moment, but just another indication, Bos, that Melbourne Victory get things right when they have to do something, and tonight's farewell, you can see there.
The club is all class. They always do things in the correct manner. In terms of that, and that's been known for a very, very long time. And it's great to see that a whole lot of other clubs are taking leaflets out of their books in the way that they do things, but they are the leader when it comes to that. But in terms of the game, look, for me, Berisha scores that one straight after half-time. It's Victory's game. They might even score another one. It's finally balanced. But, look, from my experience, and we spoke about this before, 1-1 ain't as bad a result as people make out. We had that 1-1 that time of Iran. Everyone thought, oh, great result. And then 2-2, because anything can happen in an away game. The pressure's always on the home side more than it is on the away side. They will be expecting to win Jeonbuk now.
Yeah, definitely.
But the way Melbourne Victory play and with the way they counter, and we saw at the start of the game as well, when they got involved in that tit for tat, the transition, they're very, very dangerous. And this has got a long way to go, this league.
Just before we get to more of the game, we'll revisit those pictures with Archie when he went off, because it was a special moment. Wilco, you haven't had a moment like this yet because you haven't retired.
Hopefully not for a few more years.
But, man, it would be so hard to have this when you still want it so much and you still want to be a part of it so much. In particular, this club. He hasn't said goodbye, obviously, to the game full stop, but must be just that tears at your heart a moment like this.
Yeah, well, as he said, it's all he's known for the last 10 years. You get up out of bed each morning, head to training, the same club, same people. Every day for 10 years. Of course, saying goodbye is going to be very difficult. And you add on top of that how successful he's been on the pitch for the club and what he's done for the club, both on and off the pitch. Of course, it's going to be a very emotional time for him. So we wish him well, and it'd be interesting to see where he does end up next year. Hopefully he continue playing. I'm sure he's got at least a couple more years left in him.
Yeah, hopefully still in the A-League, and he played a part tonight. What, boss?
I was just thinking, as I do. If there was one time ever that your manager took you off and you could turn around as you walk off and go to him, no, I'm staying on, actually. I reckon it would have been.
Right then.
I reckon it would have been right there. Yeah, what are you going to do? Yeah.
Well, it was a little early. Maybe he's got a bigger role to play next week. He's got an important role to play.
Quite possibly as well. He'd done a lot of running tonight, throughout. They started off, and Alex made the point at the beginning and he's exactly right, because of the lack of real match time that Melbourne Victory have had. That would start to tell towards the end, and when he came off 68th minute, so he did do a lot of running, so he probably wanted some fresh legs, Kevin Mustard, to try to get that second goal.
Hey, let's have a look at the goals. Victory got off to the best possible start, Wilco, didn't they? I mean, they started so quickly and they got reward for it right here.
Yeah, the game started 100 miles an hour, and going into a big game like this, 4 minutes in to get a goal really settles the nerves and brings out the confidence. It's the perfect time to score, but we saw they had a few more chances just like this from set pieces, and Jeonbuk were pretty poor defending them all night, and Victory could have had at least a couple more.
Del Pierre got this yellow card, and he was on the edge a couple of times in the second half as well. He had it seemed a running battle with the referee, but Leonardo stepped up, Wilco, with this free kick. But was he below par tonight a little, the Brazilian?
I don't know whether he was below par or just Victory managed him well. I thought Victory as a whole defended well, and it definitely helped that after this goal, Jeonbuk sort of dropped off and seemed reasonably happy with the 1-1, especially in the second half. I think they only had 1 or 2 shots on goal the whole...
And breakaways as well.
Yeah, and it was all on the break. And, when Victory are controlling possession and dictating the tempo and holding the ball for long periods of time, it takes out those sorts of players. Yeah. And those wingers who are so fast are doing defensive duties, which they don't like, and takes out the impetus in attack, I guess.
Let's have a listen to what Melbourne Victory coach has to say about things. Kevin Muscat.
Well, Kevin, obviously when you come into a game like this, one of the objectives is not to concede. You did. Is that one of the things that's going to worry you over the next few days?
Oh, look, naturally you don't want to concede, but in the end, we're just disappointed in win the game. I thought we limited them to very, very little. Obviously, we didn't take the chances. We had a couple, gilt-edged chances. Having said that, we're still in the tie. We've scored in every away tie ourselves. So we look forward to next week.
One of the advantages, I suppose, when you look at it, is that they have to play on the weekend, and you go there full week to recover and come into that game without having to play a league game in between.
Yeah, it is, and we'll yet to see who's going to play in that game as well as that, but no doubt we'll keep our eye on it. There's a few key learnings for us tonight, but I thought, like I said, I thought we'd done enough to win the game tonight and should have won the game.
you scored that first goal. You came out really hard, as you said you would, and scored early. But then they got one, and they looked like they were on top. And once they scored that first goal in the first half.
Yeah, look, and you get those moments. You're not going to go through, the whole 90 minutes, being on top. And like I said, they're a good team. So there's no doubt that in moments next week we'll be on top of the game. But we've really got a number of chances, a number of shots. I don't know what the tally is, but there's a number of opportunities for us, and hopefully we've saved them for 7 days' time.
And we've seen some farewells at this club, but probably never seen anything like that with Archie Thompson tonight.
Yeah, and it's fitting as well. It's fitting that we did give him a send off, and the fans come in and supported. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the result, which would have obviously been a lot better.
Thanks for joining us. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Should have won the game. That's the key quote out of that. Boz, do you agree with Kevin Muscat?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the Berisha chance just after half time, it was harder to miss actually, I think, than the score. I think if we have a look at it again, you probably find he just took his eye off it at a crucial moment. But they did dominate the game. You heard what Wilco said about the terms of the fact they did. They had the vast majority of possession. Can you remember really Lawrence Thomas, the goalkeeper from Melbourne Victory, having to make any real outstanding saves? No. In all fairness, they will say, Kun Sante, the goalkeeper for Jeonbuk, probably you can say you can't remember him making any fantastic saves. But if any team were going to win it tonight, it was Melbourne Victory. But this tie is long from over.
What about Besart Barisha's night? He scored that early goal, and sometimes you see him in the A-League score that goal and you think, the opposition are in a world of pain here. But after that, it was just frustration. Is that a fair summation?
Oh, yes and no. I mean, great to get a goal, and typical poacher's finish right there, in right spot at the right time. And then obviously probably be disappointed with the great chance he had, the header in the second half. And he had a couple of long ranges like the one we're seeing here, but he'll still be happy that he's got in the scoring positions. And if they give him that sort of space next week, it might not be the same result.
That's the one, boss.
Yeah, that's the one there.
To be fair to the defender in front of him, he did put his leg up, which may have skewed his vision. But, like I say to players all the time, and especially even when they're defending, that was another good run of his and just went over. When you lose sight of the ball for whatever reason, if it goes in the lights, which it sometimes can do, if somebody puts their leg up, just like the defender then from Jeonbuk did, you just got to have faith that it's going to come in the line that you've seen it come in. So, and I think what he did is last minute, when the boys put the leg up, he's actually taken his eye off it. And missed a real golden chance. But here's some great pictures of Archie Thompson and the reception they received.
Stacks on.
From the Melbourne Victory fans, and great to see the North Terrace as well back there tonight, and supporting, arguably, along with Kevin Muscat, of course, their greatest son.
The bane of many an A-League defender, that particular chant, because if that's ringing out from the terraces, something good has happened for Melbourne Victory and not so good for the opposition. But there he is saying a fitting farewell to that particular ground. He's wreaked havoc on that ground, and in particular Etihad Stadium. Yeah. 5 goals in a grand final, and it's whacked him in the face, certainly, what he's going through right now. He told an interesting story recently about when he rocked up to Melbourne Victory early doors, like before the A-League had started, and he basically made the decision it was a family decision, because they were starting to have kids, he and his wife, and they decided, let's come back to Australia. He walked back into Melbourne Victory and he thought, what have I done? Because it was in its embryonic stages, the A-League, and it was all done in a bit of a hurry. And he thought, what have I done? Have I left what I should have pursued, perhaps? And he did go back to PSV Eindhoven for 6 months there, but he didn't miss out on too much A-League. But there's not one part of him right now which would regret making the decision to do what he's ended up doing.
No, you're exactly right, Adam. And look, wherever you are in the world, whichever country you go to, there's always that feeling. Wilco will tell you the same thing. You have those doubts. What have I done, wherever it is? But Sometimes those doubts and that when you first go to a place end up turning into things like this. Other times you go to a place you think, I feel right at home here, it can turn the other way. That's football, and football is a roller coaster of many emotions. And you heard Archie talk about being a kid, and that's what really it is. It's an extension of your childhood, and when it's over, it is so difficult. That's why I always say play as long as you possibly can. Wilco's looking all serious now. Keep playing, buddy.
Not talking anytime soon.
Yeah. Could they have chosen a more heart-wrenching song as well to play with this? It's beautiful
what do you
stuff.
want? Wake me up before you go.
This is beautiful stuff from Melbourne Victory. We can't add to it much here in the studio. We may as well just pump it up from the ground and have a listen a bit more.
Well, I could have had more. It was while I was flying. It was I was flying.
Far out sport. Sometimes, I mean, he plays a sport, he plays football, and those people in the stands have their lives away from Melbourne Victory Football Club. But it is quite amazing sometimes what you put the two together and what can come up. The love from the stands and the love that man gives back as well. And he says goodbye to them for the last time as a Melbourne Victory player, but every time he'll set foot around a Melbourne Victory official function or game, he'll be received like that. That was something extraordinary.
That was
great.
something, yeah, it was.
Yeah, pretty special, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Especially with those kids crying and all that. I think the Bozzo's getting a bit old. Yeah, change the subject or something quickly. Yeah,
but it's good. I mean, that's the good thing about where the A-League's at, and NSL had those moments as well. But where the A-League's at, there were kids in the crowd there that weren't born, that were bawling their eyes out, weren't born when Archie Thompson started playing for Melbourne Victory.
Yeah.
So we go on from generation to generation, and those moments will happen more and more again.
Let's say it like this: it's where football's at in this country. It's starting to mean a lot to a lot of people, and when you see raw emotion like that, you realise how much it's starting to mean, which is very, very good and well may it continue.
Exactly. There's more football on the way on Fox
Can we change the subject before the B-man starts crying?
He was starting to well up, the big fella down the end there. Shandong Luneng. That is the task for Sydney FC tomorrow. Alex Wilkinson's new club Have you had much to do with the tactical analysis for this game, Wilco, or you
Nothing
don't
at
care?
all, mate. Nothing at all.
You do
Hope
care,
they win.
obviously.
No, he's not insured. If he drops the pen on his foot and he breaks his toe, he's not insured for it. He can't. Yeah.
That's tomorrow, this channel 5:02 from 9 p.m. Eastern. Gentlemen, it's been a good game of football, but it's been emotional as well.
Very
so,
good.
Yeah.
Great night. Really good night. Thanks a
Wilco,
lot,
you're
Wilco.
back in next week for the second leg?
No idea, am I?
I hope so.
If you haven't left for England.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
I want to
there's
play
half
for
a
England,
chance
mate.
that he
If you-
won't
unless you
be
wanna ring
because
me
he'll be
in.
preparing
You can
for...
dial me in if you like.
No, you're off on Sunday, aren't you?
Yeah, Sunday night.
Yeah, I should have thought ahead there. So it's got me all flustered. But best of luck over
Thank
there
you.
at
Yes.
the Stadium
Appreciate
of Light against England.
Thanks,
So if
Adam.
you need anyone to
Go
train
on.
with between now and Sunday, you can always
You're the
ring
man.
Adam. No, I'll come down to Whistle if you want.
Also, see you tomorrow night.
See you tomorrow night. Adam. Very good. That was excellent tonight.
Yeah,
Really
more
good.
Champions League on the way. Melbourne Victory didn't get the result tonight, but they got their farewell that they probably wanted. They get to farewell their man, Archie Thompson. He was the story, but there's more to come in this particular book with next week, the second leg in Korea. We'll bring you that live, of course. Thanks for your company this evening. We'll see you tomorrow night for some more Champions League.
This has been a production of Fox